film on the clutch assembly and setup for the Metrakit. First thing, looking over in the bike on the clutch case assembly. We're going to take off the rear brake pedal. You do not have to do this, but it does make it a little bit easier to take the clutch case in and out. Look down at the bottom before we get started, and then you'll have your oil drain plugs. The 14mm head on that. This is at the bottom of the case, so make sure you drain all the fluid. Now that we have the clutch case off, we can take a look at the internal right now. This is inside your clutch. It's going to be your clutch bell right here. That's going to be a 17mm socket. Take an impact driver and get that off. It is a normal counterclockwise loosen, clockwise tighten. It's not like some of the other clutches where it's a left-hand thread. This is a right-hand thread, so do it just like normal. Very simple. The clutch bell comes right off. You can see the grooves and everything. Your clutch assembly slides right off the shaft, no problem. Okay, we have the 3 bolts loosened up. All you gotta do is pretty much just lift that right off. We'll take another 3mm T-handle and take each spring out. As we do that, then I will show you. Okay, we've taken the springs out. Now be very careful. Always keep your hand underneath for this plate, because as you'll see, once I tip it upside down, I'll take my fingers here, tip it upside down, lay it on the weights, the plate will come off. Okay, as you can see here, little pins that hold in the weights. The weights will come out. Be very careful on this. As you can see, there's crud in there. Alright, as you can see on my finger. So this is another necessity. It needs to be cleaned. Okay, we got everything cleaned. Everything's ready to go. You got your weights and hubs, gears, pins. These are your shims, and I'll explain how to use those. First thing we want to do is start putting the weights in. As you can see, I already got the pins and the weights. Very simple process. Just slide them in. You want to hold it upright. The pins will slide around. And they should slide right on in. You take your plate and you just set it right in there. You'll find the holes. Should set right on top. Take your fingers on the bottom. That way this will keep the weights in there secured. Okay. Flip it over, try to keep them supported, and you'll start putting your springs in. And what you can do is go ahead and get a couple of them. They don't have to be real tight. Just put them in there. That way you ain't got to worry about the plate coming back apart and your wash. And you come over here to the gear. This is where your shims will come into play. Depending on how much of an air gap you need, you'll place the shims onto your gearing. Right now I'm going to start off with 4. Then I'll assemble, check the air gap. Remember, your plates stay exactly the way you pulled them off. Put it in the groove. And then you'll assemble your plate. Take your 3 piers, place them in the screw holes, and then we'll tighten up. Okay, we have the clutch assembled again. You want to make sure you check it when the screws are tight, because that's the way it's going to be ran. You'll get a different air gap if you just try to set it on there and check the air gap. What I mean by checking the air gap is the plates spin freely. Okay? There's an air pocket in between the 2 plates. You want to take a feeler gauge and make sure that the space in between those plates are the same all the way around. Okay, this one right now is set at 0.40 millimeters or 1/16 of an inch. Okay, that's about prime, right where I want to be, between 35 and 40. So I should be good on this clutch. Take your clutch, put it on there. There's no keyway or anything. It should slide right in. You can see the operation right there. As you can see, it's not like your usual clutch. That's turning the piston right there. It's on your secondary shaft. Now we'll go into the bell, clutch bell, and we'll line up the teeth and put this on. Once you get the teeth lined up, you will have to wiggle it around to get the plates to sit in there. So you can turn it or whatever and get it all figured out until you get the plates sit it in there firmly. So let me get that done and I'll go back and show you what it should look like. We got the clutch bell on. Show you what it should look like. Make sure those plates are down in there all the way around. Okay, the rest is pretty much simple. You can probably figure it out on your own. We're going to use 250 cc of Redline Racing ATF. It's made specifically for this clutch, and it's going to work out great. And you try anything different, you're going to be able to tell a big difference. Probably not in a good way. Next thing we'll go over is hopefully I don't have to go over how to put oil in. So 250 cc's of Redline Racing ATF. Then this pretty much going to conclude how to handle this clutch. Now as you go through, you'll be able to figure out what's the right setup for your kid, weight wise, engagement wise, everything. So hopefully this helped out. Y'all have a good day.